All right, everybody. I did this earlier, and fortunately, I didn't have my mic on, so I got to do it again. This will be my first podcast, um, and this one's probably uh, not going to be very long. Maybe I don't know how long it'll be. Really, it's just a few skits about Maui and how they're not getting any help over there, um, as far as you know, federally, uh, and I mean they need it. They've had a lot going on, and I feel bad for the people. And whoever you are, whoever, man, if you live through that and y'all are suffering uh, and not getting any help, and even if you are getting help, I'm sorry for I'm sorry that y'all have had to go through that, and our thoughts are with all of you, and I hope that everything will work out for y'all, and I hope y'all get the help that y'all need. Which is part of the reason why I'm making this video is to kind of spread the awareness. I don't know how much help I'll be since nobody is really into my channel yet, but um, put forth the effort at least. We're gonna start with this video of this man right here. He is asking people for help. He needs your help. I think we should give him help, as much as help as we can. They're part of our country. That is our brother. That is our sister over there, and they're struggling. We need to realize that, and we don't need to uh, just toss this aside. This is a serious matter, and like he said, this is a national disaster. This is just over there. You know what I'm saying? This is national. That means for the nation. Let's hear what he says. Oh, there you go. Just a second. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Last night, trying to save people's lives, and I feel like we're not getting the help we need. You know? Oh my God, this is a nationwide issue at this point. Yeah, we need help, a lot of help. We gotta get people down here. You know, it's a short road, front street. If you guys walk down the street, you see it's completely burnt. And we just, if I saw somebody, I helped them. I felt like these guys wasn't going to get help because I see so much people walking, and that's what we do in Ohio. We don't leave people behind. You know, that's just how we roll.
Already.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I don't hear that. Let's go on past this part.
So hard to describe being out in the ocean, not knowing where you are, and then being on fire, not knowing where land is. At points, the current's pulling us out where we can't touch the ground. At times, I remember just telling her to make sure that she saves herself. Don't worry about, if I start drowning out here, you save yourself.
You save yourself. Those heartbreaking words from a couple who lost almost everything in the Maui wildfires. Mike and Andresa Chiquino were left homeless and unemployed after the fire burned through their home and businesses. And the couple, as you heard, they said they treaded in the ocean. They treaded water for hours before they were rescued. And I want to bring back that couple now, Mike and Andresa. It is always great to see you, Andresa. I know that you prefer not to speak today. I appreciate you being here as well. Mike, can you tell us what life has been like for these nearly 20 days after this fire? How are you both doing?
It's been tough, not only emotionally but financially. We feel like we're not really getting any of the assistance that we need, which a lot of other people feel the same way. Mr. Garcia, the person you're speaking to before, for us, hit it on the nose. We are the 50th state here, and we're not being treated like we're U.S. citizens. We feel like we just got out of a fight for our life. Now we're back in another fight for our life to find home, to find a place to to rest our head just that night. I think I mentioned we're not getting any help from federal government so far. Some people, I'm guessing, are getting the 700. We never received the 700, which, I mean, wouldn't go very far here in Hawaii. We're mostly getting help from private organizations, nonprofits, but even we're having trouble using their resources because Airbnb has been very difficult throughout all of this. It's been really tough. We just want to heal emotionally, but in order to do that, we need to know where we're going to live.
Yeah, and when I speak with you, it's sort of this sense of everyone out for themselves, and you're sort of out there alone, having to figure it out. Is that what it's been like these last 20 days? Not only the emotional trauma of over this, and Andres, I mean, we are nearly 20 days out, and I can see how emotional this is for you still, how hard this is to talk about. Or I really appreciate you being here. I really do. What has it been like these last 20 days? Do you feel that the federal government has your back? Do you feel that you're getting the help you need?
No, absolutely not. And if you probably ask most locals, I can't speak for everybody, but we feel like we're not getting any help out here, at least from the federal government. They are helping, from what I understand, down on the ground to look for bodies, to clear out rubble, those type of things. But as far as the people that were displaced financially, they've been no help. They're basically asked. They act like they're the concierge service, kind of. Call this organization, they might be able to help you. Call this organization, they might be able to help you. But that's it. They even, as far as financially, said that we can apply for a loan, but we're not thinking about borrowing money from. We don't know how we're even going to pay back if we take a loan. So we're scared to even take a loan right now.
Sure.
And I feel that it's unfortunate that the government is letting us borrow our taxes back within and we can pay it back with interest. It's at least let us borrow money and then we can pay it back, but we should be paying interest on it.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about the lawsuit that Maui County filed against Hawaiian Electric. They claim that it was the utilities power lines, which were not properly maintained, that came down in those heavy winds and sparked, causing the fire. What is your take on this? Is this the right move?
I believe it is. I believe they need to be held accountable. They knew about that this could have happened a long time ago. There's so many things that they could have put in place to prevent this from happening over the years. I think we had a fire about 5 years ago that almost burned down our whole town. They haven't really done anything since then. So yeah, they need to be held accountable for what they did and what they're continuing to do to us.
And Mike, can I ask? I mean, the last time we spoke, the sense I got from you is that you feel that Americans in the continental U.S. don't really understand that we're not being told the truth of what is happening there. What is the truth of what is happening on the ground where you are?
Well, first, I know in the beginning it felt like our local government wasn't being transparent. I feel like they've been getting a lot of pressure, so things have started to change in that area. They are trying to be a little bit more transparent. But as far as like on there's not much they can really do. But on like a federal level, there's been absolutely no help. Like I mentioned, it's just organizations, churches that have been helping us. We feel like a lot of the people. It's not like people's fault that they live in the continental U.S. They don't, they're not the ones in charge of the government. The government's supposed to be the one that's taking care of us and helping us. Actually, people from all over the world, Texas, California, Japan, that's how we've been surviving right now, is they've been donating to our GoFundMe. They've been helping out other people's GoFundMe. So I highly encourage that people out there that do want to help, go on GoFundMe, look for people that have been in that wildfire, because that's how we're surviving. If we didn't have you folks that are watching this right now helping, we'd be in a lot more trouble than we are. And there's people that are in worse situations than we are right now, and they need your help too, not just us.
Mike and Andresa Chiquino, I always appreciate your time, and thank you so much for taking the time to check back in with us. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your
pretty sad,
television
man.
provider. And don't forget to click
You
the
know,
red
we
subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased
they're
coverage.
sending plenty of money over there to
As
Ukraine.
President Biden surveys the damage in Maui, emergency crews, local officials, and residents are still assessing the scope of the loss from the wildfires. So far, officials have confirmed that the fires led to more than 110 deaths, and most of those individuals have yet to be identified. More than 1,000 federal officials remain on the ground. Troubling questions and anger have emerged as well about the role of Hawaii's biggest power utility, the response by local and state governments, and a lack of critical communication when residents most needed it. For the latest on what that perspective is like on the ground, we're joined by Marina Riker, a reporter for the Honolulu Civil Beat, who is based in Maui. Marina, thank you for being with us.
And thank you so much for having me.
And we should say that as you are covering the aftermath of these wildfires, you were also directly affected by it. The rental home where you were living was consumed by the fires. You shared this before and after photo with our team. Tell us what this experience has been like for you.
Yeah, so I would say I've been dealing with my own home and disaster, and whenever I can, trying to work on the side because it's been extraordinarily chaotic. But yeah, my home burned down in Kula, which was one of a couple of wildfires that broke out on August 8th.
The day of the fires, how were you able to evacuate?
A separate fire from the one that took my house actually broke out a few miles away from me earlier that morning. So we were already on edge because this sort of a thing has not happened, at least in my lifetime growing up here. I don't remember anything like this ever happening. So we were already on edge. We were preparing our go bag. We have 3 cats. We decided to catch them and put them into carriers. And sure enough, around noon that day, a fire broke out about 2 properties over from us. And in the hours that followed, the smoke was so bad, and then we saw flames. So that's when we made the call to get out before an evacuation order.
So I'm guessing original fire broke out because of the power lines, and then she's talking about a second. And I guess they kind of the first fire kind of set off sparks and embers and stuff, maybe creating the second fire. I guess is what you're saying.
Order had been issued.
And as I understand it, you were denied FEMA assistance at first, which is remarkable, really, given that you're someone who knows how to navigate the system. Tell me more about that and what folks there are coping with.
As someone who has had to actually cover natural disasters in the past and actually write about FEMA and other relief programs, I think the big thing that I realized as someone who, also lost their home, it's not like government officials are directly reaching out to you to give you this information. You have to find it yourself. You have to try to figure out what do you do with the home debris? How do you apply for FEMA? What websites do you go to? What other relief programs are there? So, I mean, in the case of FEMA, and this is going to happen, I mean, at rental properties all over Maui, because my landlord had already submitted an application for damage. Then when I went to submit one online, it was denied because it's the same address. So fortunately, I was able to troubleshoot and call someone, but it's been super confusing.
As you well know, there are major questions about the cause of the wildfire, the electric utilities' role in them, questions about why officials didn't sound the alert system, concerns about how residents were cut off from cell service. Generally speaking, what do residents want to see in terms of accountability?
There's so much. I think the big question, and I mean that was just my own question as a resident going through this, was I mean, when our home burned down, cell phone reception was so limited that I don't know if there was an emergency alert sent. We didn't get one. I did see a news release later that afternoon, but I think it's just folks want to see better communication, of course, in these disasters in hopes that it saves lives. But then also in the rebuilding, like they want to see communities lead these efforts. And what the community that I'm from in Kula needs is going to be totally different than what the community in Lahaina needs. So I think everyone just wants to make sure that residents are not left out and that residents take the lead in rebuilding these communities.
Speaking of rebuilding, the governor there says it will take years and billions of dollars. What does the future look like for folks in Maui?
The one positive thing in all this is I can't even begin to say how much support we've seen, just even from our own neighbors. And I mean, communities are really coming together. I think to lead the charge in the rebuilding efforts. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's absolutely devastating. There aren't even really, I mean, and devastating just feels like such a small word to describe the magnitude of this. There's just the deadliest disaster we've had in Hawaii and the deadliest wildfire in modern history in the US. So it's going to be very slow, but I think the big point is we want to see communities lead the rebuild and have their voices heard in that process of how we're going to recover from this.
To the extent that you've been able to focus on your work, do you have a sense of where that reporting will head next in the work that you do for the Civil Beat?
Well, so it's really interesting because I actually worked as a reporter in Texas when Hurricane Harvey hit. And I had very minor home damage, but nothing, not like this where my home is leveled and I have nothing and I had to try to go buy some toiletries because I just don't have anything anymore. And I think for me, it's changed the way I see reporting in terms of the information that I need as someone who's lost my home is totally different than the information that the general public might need. So for me, I mean, I'm hoping that that will help me ask better questions and figure out what we actually need in terms of information to like help the families going through this.
Marina Riker, thanks so much for your time, and our thoughts are with you and everyone affected by these wildfires.
Thank you.
To the Hawaiian island of Maui, where the confirmed death toll now stands at over 100 people. Nearly all of the victims have yet to be identified, and hundreds more are missing. Our Jonathan Bigliotti is on Maui talking to survivors. Jonathan, good morning.
And Wendy, good morning to you. As the road into town gets ready to reopen this morning, we're hearing disturbing new details about a state resembling martial law and a rescue operation that never arrived. We're talking many people spending many days in the dark without power, food, or water before taking matters into their own hands. Startling new images of Lahaina's firestorm show the ferocity of the wind-driven flames.
That's scary,
The governor has
man.
confirmed that more than 100 people were unable to escape.
It was a kind of fear and panic that I have never experienced before in my life.
After losing cell reception last Tuesday and seeing smoke in every direction, hotel manager Kavena Kahula drove into Lahaina to find her son, unaware of the threat.
You had no idea that as you were evacuating, you were actually heading into the firestorm.
I didn't know. I didn't know until there was big black mushroom clouds of smoke continuing to stack up on each other, bigger and bigger.
She said she received no emergency alerts.
Was there any communication in these first few hours of that panic state?
No. Nothing.
Fearing she wouldn't make it out of Lahaina alive, she escaped the flames and returned to her hotel, where hundreds were stranded with no power and limited supplies.
There was a point to where we could only provide food for the children.
While Lahaina sat in ruins, no assistance came for more than 2 days.
There's an airport right up the road.
2
Why is it
days.
not being used?
Wow.
There's an
That is
ocean
crazy.
20 feet from our lobby. Why are we not using that? I don't know.
In the aftermath, they were left hungry not only for food, but for any official guidance.
You know, we ran out of everything, including our patience and sanity at some points. My team members coming back to work, crying, telling me, I don't have nothing left except this shirt. Hearing stories of
That's sad,
elderly people crawling on the ground, begging for someone to pick them up. There are parts of me that wish I did make it in to help those lives. But there is a huge piece of me that thanks God that I didn't.
and so many questions remain this morning. Kahula says she waited nearly 3 days to self-evacuate. When she did, the road was clear. She did not see any first responders. When she made it here to the end of this roadblock at the end of the road, she was upset to see volunteers with supplies lining up, not being able to get through. The county is currently under investigation. We reached out to officials and we have not heard back. Wendy, the good news here though, she was reunited with her son.
Now, Jonathan, you've spoken to a lot of survivors there. Is Cavena's experience during the fire, the confusion, the long wait for help, everything that you told us just in that story, shared by many of them, all of them?
Hmm. Yeah, by many of them. It's a story that we hear time and time again from survivors. They were not evacuated. There were no text alerts. They had no guidance where to go. As we heard from Kahula, she even went into the danger zone because there was no information or guidance on how to get somewhere safely. When we arrived here last week, hours after this firestorm had already done its damage, we could not get through this roadblock, so we actually took a boat and were able to confirm a lot of what we're hearing from these survivors. We got there on the ground 24 hours after the fire hit. We didn't see a single first responder anywhere we walked, only dazed and confused survivors who described haunting scenes, telling us not to go down certain roads because there were bodies laying on them. That's how desperate it was. That is how lawless it was. We did not see a single police officer anywhere in the area that we checked out one day.
Wow.
That's messed
It's
up.
pretty windy there right now. Is there concern that's going to ban additional fires?
There is, and some small fires have popped up, but the fire team here, obviously on guard, they have put them out, but the wind is going to continue. It is very dry here, so the concern is there could be more fires in the future, of course. A lot of reinforcement here on the island at this hour.
And back to the residents that you spoke about, what help are they getting at this point?
The critical help that they need right now is long-term housing solutions. Thousands of people have lost their homes. So many are going to go into town for the first time and discover pure heartbreak and heartache. We have spoken with officials with FEMA and the Red Cross. We know that they are here on the ground and they are assisting in that effort to place them in housing. There is temporary shelter currently being provided, and the governor is calling on more and more hotels to open their doors to
They
the
need to.
homeless here on the island right now.
They should be doing it anyway. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be having to be told. Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. And people over there need our help. Um, I'm trying to spread this awareness out, man. We got to help these people. I mean, we help all these other countries, and we just can't even help ourselves, man. I mean, what is the deal here, man? You know, this is a whole nother subject to get on, but you know, it just goes to show you right there, man, that our government, yeah, our government, man, especially old Sleepy Joe there, uh, you know, they they're confused. Either that or they're working for the other team. You know what I'm saying? They're working against us, or they're confused and they're dumbasses and they don't need to be at the White House, man. That's just what it is, man. Um, you know, people talk so much trash about Trump. You know, Trump is Trump, 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 Trump. You know, man. Haven't y'all realized, man, how much they're people are being manipulated, man. People are being manipulated every day. You know, and we sitting here letting these people in Maui suffer, man. Suffer? Why? Why? Why are we doing that? All these taxpayers' dollars getting paid out to settle police misconduct cases, trillions of dollars, man. But we cannot send nothing over there to Maui. We can't send, man. Come on, people. We got to put it together. United we stand. Remember 9/11? You know what I'm saying? United we stand. Well, you know, we're not very united with our people over there in Hawaii. We need to step up, man. You know, so I ain't saying you. I'm saying us. We as a nation, we need to come together and step up and play the role that we are supposed to be playing, and that is, you know, that is an American citizen, a person that cares about the other, a loving person, and not, you know, just built on carelessness and hate and nobody's life is more important than the other. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, how much money you got, it just doesn't matter, man. Everybody's life should be the same. Nobody should be less valued than anybody else, and we seem to think that they have less value. I mean, is that what it is? I mean, what can we really just say that? I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think that it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Well, we don't see it, so we don't think about it. Man. Well, I'm putting it in your head today. Y'all need to realize we need to help these people, man. These people need our help. Everything they had was taken. Just imagine if everything you had, your home, your car, every clothing item you owned, everything, man, every single thing you had. Imagine if it was just gone. You didn't have it. No TV, no computer, no clothes, no toiletries, no showers, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, no nothing, man. No warm meal. I mean, come on, man. You can't even cook your man. Come on, man. Y'all got to help. We need to come together and help these people because they need it. They need our help. And shame on you, man. If y'all are not uh, uh, even considering, even thinking about helping these people, if you think it's wrong, man, y'all are fucking wrong, man. And I hope, you know, I told myself I wasn't gonna cuss in these things, man. But it's just a certain thing, man, that you just can't understand, and that's what that is, and it's frustrating, man, because everybody want to talks about what's right and what's wrong. Well, what's right is helping these people, man. They've been done wrong, man. Really, as far as I can see, you know what I'm saying, and that's just, uh, I'm sure, just the tip of the iceberg on it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that they have more. I'm sure that them people over there, man, are angry and they're sad and they're overwhelmed and they're. We need to help them. Come on, people, y'all stand up, man. Come on, man. Send them some money, help them out. Go to them GoFundMe, like them guys said, man. Do something, man. These people need our help. We're failing them. We're failing as a nation. We need to stand up. Come on, y'all. Let's do something about it. I appreciate you listening to my podcast, and hope you can come back and listen to the next one. Uh, as we start this podcast journey together, I hope you will join me and listen and comment and conversate with me if it's possible. Uh, I'd I'd enjoy it. So, um, anyways, my name is Anthony. By the way, this is going to be a random podcast. It's not really specifically designed to talk about one specific topic or whatever. It's kind of a general thing. I kind of want to talk about everything. Which was something that Spotify didn't allow me to choose. But uh, yeah. Anyways, I hope we can continue to uh, go along with me in this journey as we hope to grow and prosper and spread awareness around our country about certain things. Uh, just I appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening. Peace.